Hi there, and welcome to Let's Slow Down, a podcast for all of you who feel tired and stressed from this overwhelming world. Here we'll have fun, inspiring conversations about living life on our own terms and explore ways to ease the pace of our modern world, because life really is good when you're relaxed enough to be present for it. I'm your host, Anne-Marie Stolting, and I welcome you to this space where I hope to inspire you to slow down, because life is too short to let it go by in a blur. So take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Let's Slow Down, the podcast where we explore the art of simple, intentional living. And today's episode is a big one, my friends, as it is my 100th episode of the show. I am so grateful for this opportunity, and I appreciate you listening. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you've been here from the start, your support and your feedback have made this podcast such a rewarding journey. I hope it's been for you as well. Together, we've created a space to pause, reflect, and rediscover what truly matters in life. I am so grateful to each and every one of you for being part of this community. For today's episode, we're looking back on your favorite lessons from 2024. Revisiting the top episodes and the topics that resonated most deeply, the ones that inspired you to live with more purpose, ease, and clarity. As always, I'll link these featured episodes in the show notes in case you want to go back and easily listen to them. We'll be diving into the secrets of a well-lived life, explore the power of holistic decluttering, and revisit the magic of simplifying. I'll also share some of your feedback and reflections which have truly brought these topics to life. So grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea, take a deep breath and relax, and join me as we celebrate 2024 and 100 episodes of slowing down. So the top episode of the year was number 83, A Well-Lived Life, based on the book written by Dr. Gladys McGarey. This was your favorite episode of 2024, and for good reason. Dr. Gladys's wisdom on living a well-lived life is something that I've carried with me ever since I read her book over the summer. And I will give a quick recap of the 6 secrets that she mentions. The first secret to a well-lived life is you. You are here for a reason. She encourages you to find your juice and discover where to pour it. Secret number 2, all life needs to move. She talks about feeling stuck, moving through pain, and releasing what doesn't matter. Secret number 3 is love is the most powerful medicine. She talks about love versus fear, the role of self-love, and how to let love in. Number 4, you are never truly alone. Life is all about connection and how to find your friends while also setting boundaries. Secret number 5, everything is your teacher. How to stop fighting and find the lesson in everything. I think if I had to choose my favorite of her life lessons, it would be this one. I've really embraced this throughout my life this year by not trying to control everything. And I'm just trying to let life unfold, be an active participant in creating and intentionally living the life I have. Slowing down and decluttering and simplifying has 100% helped me to do that. It's given me the space, both literally and figuratively, to start truly noticing all that is around me. The wonders and miracles of the everyday, which have always been there. I'm just really tuning into them now and learning from them and living more deeply as a result. I talk a lot about this in my book as well. And Dr. Gladys's last secret, secret number 6, is to spend your energy wildly. What is worth your energy? And how do you spend it? Making space for miracles, embracing your life, and knowing that wherever you are right now, you're right on time. You're right where you need to be. I feel like so many of the points that she made in her book have all been addressed on this podcast in one way or another and through many of my amazing guests. And I think it really boils down to slowing down enough in your life to really be present and take stock and just focus on where you're at, how it's going, examining those lessons that life is throwing your way and really leaning into them, using them as important ways to learn and grow so that you can live more authentically as yourself. And you can take it a step further by living these lessons out and sharing everything that you have to offer with the world. There's so much wisdom in this book. Every single page of The Well-Lived Life has a lesson to share. And Dr. Gladys does it in an interesting, inspiring, easy to read way. She's just incredible. When you step back and think about it, these are lessons that took her over a century to learn. And we have access to them, over just a few short hours of reading the book. So, How to Live a Well-Lived Life. So while Dr. Gladys McGarry taught us how to live a life full of meaning and vitality, our next most loved episode focused on creating space to breathe. And that was episode 78, Making Room to Breathe, with holistic decluttering coach Noelle Fowler. Noelle is a holistic decluttering coach dedicated to helping busy women simplify their lives to make room for what truly matters. That's what we're always talking about on this show, and I think that's what we're all after. Her simple, practical, and sustainable approach to decluttering is designed to seamlessly integrate into the rhythms of everyday life. And in episode 78, we talked about the stark difference between organizing and decluttering. And you'll know it if you've hit a block, because you'll be stuck in an endless cycle of stuff. It's like you put everything away, you spend all this time cleaning up, tidying up, organizing, and you're right back where you started like a day or two later. That's really when you know you need to declutter, you need to pare down because your stuff is becoming hard to manage. Noelle shares a holistic approach to decluttering that combines education and really focusing on your why so that you can create sustainable change in your life. And in that episode, we also talked about the importance of incorporating the emotional side of decluttering to support yourself when you're making room for what matters. And really just acknowledging that there is an emotional side of decluttering, I think, is very important, because so often we put things in little boxes and we think decluttering is just about stuff and, has nothing to do with feelings or our mood or anything like that, when in fact, everything is really so holistically connected in our lives. The number one thing that Noelle says she hears from women that she works with is that they didn't realize how much their clutter was stressing them out and overwhelming them. And they really didn't comprehend how much lighter, how much more room to breathe they would feel just from simplifying their space. Noelle tells us that when you experience the power of decluttering, it's truly life-changing, and I can certainly attest to that. One statistic that's just mind-boggling to me that she shared with us is that in the average American home, if you were to declutter it, your housework would decrease by 40%. So that's something to think about moving forward, especially as we head into a new year. How can you decrease your housework by 40%? That can be such a game changer for all of us in 2025. I'd like to take a minute to share 3 easy tips for holistic holiday decluttering that will add more ease to the next few weeks. So number 1, if you're gifted new items that might be replacing things you already have that are used or worn, consider paring down. Donate or discard the older things to make room for the new. And remember, if you still have some life left in some of your older stuff, try to give it away or donate it, and, don't clog the landfills with it. Number 2, take care not to clutter your calendar too much over the next couple of weeks. Sure, there are lots of fun things going on, holiday gatherings to attend, tons of family and friends to visit and catch up with, but try not to squeeze too much in. Remember that room to breathe that Noelle talks about, and be sure to intentionally schedule some of that into your holiday season to guard your well-being. And number 3 is to start small. Noelle suggests starting with a single area, like something simple like a junk drawer or a cluttered corner. This way it kind of avoids overwhelm. And just spend 15 to 20 minutes, that's it. 15 to 20 minutes working on it, clean it out, and try to make this a habit, a lifestyle. This is a very practical, manageable way to declutter regularly and maintain your home and life. I would like to encourage you to take a few minutes to consider what your life would look and feel like with 40% less housework to do. And think about one decluttering action you can take before the year ends. What's one area where you feel overwhelmed or stuck? It could be your closet, your email inbox, or even a mental burden that you've been carrying. Choose just one and start there. So as you're making space for breathing room, also reflect and consider what you're making room for. As you clear out these things and you make space and you're able to breathe a little easier, what are you truly inviting into your life? Peace, joy, clarity. Think about that and let that be your guide as you move forward. And this leads us to your third favorite episode of the year, which was number 77, Simplify Your Wardrobe with Project 333. This was inspired by Courtney Carver's book of the same name. And this episode struck a chord with so many of you because it demonstrated how simplicity in one area, in this case, your closet, can ripple out into every corner of your life. So for those that didn't listen, what is Project 333? I'm going to summarize it for you real quickly. It's basically a challenge. Project 333 challenges you to choose just 33 items from your wardrobe, clothing, shoes, and accessories, and wear only those items for 3 months. You don't have to be super hung up with the numbers. They're kind of just guidelines. So if like 40 works better for you, that's fine. It's really just a simple, intentional way to approach your closet and the way in which you shop for clothes and get dressed every day. It's a challenge that's not just about being more minimalist with your clothing and your wardrobe. It's about clarity. When you reduce the decision fatigue in one area, such as getting dressed, you free up mental space for what matters most. There was a lot of listener feedback from this episode, which I loved. I'm so thrilled when I hear from you after an episode, so please keep the messages coming. Reach out to me on Instagram, send me an email, hello@letsslowdown.net. Let me know, like, if it really resonated with you or if there was something you really loved or if there's something that you didn't like so much, let me know. Always looking for that constructive feedback and criticism so that I can continue to grow the show and let it evolve into something that's really going to help all of us. So I was thrilled to get so much listener feedback from this one. One listener wrote in to say that after playing this episode, they finally tackled their overstuffed closet. And they described the experience as liberating, saying that they realized how much their clothes were tied to old habits and expectations that they didn't align with anymore. And personally, I have found that simplifying my own wardrobe has made my mornings so much easier, less second guessing or trying on a million outfits. I know I love and feel good in every piece I own now because I really have pared it down. So I have a much easier time putting things together. And I actually like wearing my clothes. They make me feel confident. They make me feel put together because I have over the last few months, I started this for the summer. I think I started it back in May on Memorial Day. And I did it. I was really strict about it for the summer, a little less strict as we moved into fall, but I have definitely curated my wardrobe and I'm keeping less clothes in my closet. I'm buying less clothes and it has really simplified and made a difference. So I would highly encourage it. And a few practical tips if you're going to try this. There's not a lot of strict rules. These are just guidelines. Check out the book. It was really a great read and I found it super interesting. There's a lot of Facebook groups and YouTube things on Project 333. So check those out. And I'd say start with a trial run. Like if you don't want to commit to 3 months, do it for 1 month, do it for a week. Don't let the 3-month thing, if it feels too daunting to you, don't let it discourage. So focus on what you do love. Instead of thinking about what you're giving up, focus on what you're keeping. You're keeping the pieces in your closet that you truly love, that you feel great wearing. And think about that ease that you're going to add into your day without being stressed about getting dressed. Adapt it to your life, however that looks. Maybe you just want to do it for your work clothes, or maybe you want to do it for everything, whatever's going to work for you. And use it as an opportunity to donate and let go of some of the things you don't use anymore. I do want to highlight this ripple effect of simplifying your wardrobe because it extends beyond the closet. It's an intentional approach and it can expand into basically every other area of your life. Because as Courtney Carver says, when you simplify one area, it often inspires you to look at other areas that you can pare down as well, whether that be your schedule, other areas of your home, your digital space, or even your relationships. This experiment really taught me how to build confidence through simplicity and how they can be connected, and definitely reduces quite a bit of stress. When you curate a wardrobe that fits your style and your needs, you just feel more confident and put together and there's less overwhelm. So this simplicity allows you to focus on what truly matters in your day. As we've talked about on the show many times, the way you start your day is so pivotal in how you carry yourself throughout the day. So if this can help make things a little easier in the morning, I'd encourage you to try it. So as we head into the new year, maybe you want to challenge yourself to do a little wardrobe reset. Try it with 33 items or whatever number feels good to you. And I encourage you to think about what your life would look like if your morning started with this ease and clarity instead of stress and indecision. What if simplifying your wardrobe could help simplify your life? I had so much fun with all of the episodes I did this year, but these were the top 3, and we've learned a lot from them. Living a simple, intentional life isn't about perfection. It's not about mastering a single skill. It's really all about embracing small, meaningful steps, like living with vitality, decluttering your home, simplifying your wardrobe, embracing small, meaningful steps to create the space for what truly matters. And that's going to look different for all of us. Each of these episodes that I mentioned today carried a unique message, but ultimately they all circle back to that same core principle, and that's living a life that's authentically you. So as we head into 2025, let's reflect on how we can carry these lessons forward. Take a minute to identify some of the steps that I've mentioned today, or maybe a few mantras that resonate with you. A few examples are, I'll live lighter in 2025, mentally, emotionally, physically, by focusing on what brings me joy and purpose. Or, this season, I choose joy over perfection. Or maybe you'll pick a spot to do a short 15-minute declutter and go from there. I would encourage everyone, including myself, to take a look at your calendar and do a little declutter there, a little bit of intentional scheduling in some space before that holiday week is upon us. And try to carve out a little time for quiet so that you can ground yourself and relax a bit during a very busy time of year. So in closing, I want to thank you again for tuning in to the Let's Slow Down podcast this year. I am so grateful for your support, and it means the world to know this podcast has made a difference in your lives. As we look ahead, I'm excited to share what's next. So based on your feedback, I'll be offering more short solo episodes while still including interviews here and there. In fact, I already have a few recorded and ready to go that I'm really excited to share with you. If you have any ideas or suggestions for future episodes, I would love to hear them. Please, please, please reach out to me. And if you missed any of these top episodes mentioned today, I invite you to revisit them for inspiration. Lastly, I'll be taking the last 2 weeks of the year off to rest, regroup, and celebrate with my family. So I will see you back here in January. Please share the podcast with someone who might benefit from these conversations, and let's continue to grow this community of intentional living together. Wishing you all a peaceful, joyful holiday season and a meaningful start to the new year. Here's to living lighter, more intentionally, and with purpose in 2025. See you next year.
I hope you've enjoyed our journey together. Please take a moment to rate and review the show. It really helps us grow and reach others looking to slow down too. Wishing you simplicity and ease in your world, and I'll see you back here next week.